Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Roughie's Football Show. It is Friday the 26th of June. I'm delighted that you could join us on Facebook and YouTube, also on Periscope and, of course, our Twitter channel. Alan Rough, Barry Ferguson and Tam McManus are here with me. Don't forget to like, share and follow on Facebook, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost you a penny. We might as well start by saying 30 years of waiting, Roughie. This is the top you should be wearing today. King Kenny all those years ago, and now 24 hours later, Liverpool champions.
Yeah, you can't take it away from them. I think it was at 23 points. Anybody who wins that league with that amount, with the quality that's in that league, deserves everything they get. But they've been front runners right for the start, and you just look at the quality they've got, and it just shows you. We always talk about, you get a good goalkeeper, you get a good centre half, you get a good striker, and you're on your way, and that's exactly what Liverpool did, and the midfield obviously as well. But top class players in all the right departments.
Yeah, absolutely. You get the spine of the team correct and you're in with half a chance. We'll talk about Liverpool a little later on in the programme. We've got a brilliant one-to-one with Lyndon Dykes, the Livingston striker. It's an exclusive. Lyndon Dykes talks Steven Gerrard, talks Rangers, talks Steve Clarke and Scotland as well. And of course, Tam, he is giving you a run for his money and your money as well, because his napper is unbelievable.
I seen it was blue.
It's
he's got blue rinsing it, same as Barry used to always get.
He's for me. I tell
you, red and white
that Lyndon Dykes went up in my estimations.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you,
he's looking staunch for Barry now. He's saying sign him.
Big time.
I'll tell you, and if we can get him for Scotland, I'll be absolutely delighted. By the way, I think he's got the makings of becoming a better player, and of course, maybe at international level, maybe he could take a step up as well, just like Lawrence Shanklin. Here's hoping anyway. It would give you something different. Give us your view on that. You might agree, disagree. Will it be Rangers? Will it be another club that just stumps up the cash that Livy find it too difficult to refuse? But he's certainly been a star this season for Livingston. I think scored 12 goals in the season, but he's been a real hustle and bustle striker. Back to the old days, Barry. I think, I likened him a wee bit to Joe Jordan. Listen, if he was half the player Joe Jordan was, he'd be a millionaire.
Yeah, he was some player, Joe Jordan. But I just look back, Peter, I think he's done it in a good way. Obviously, Queen of the South, he had a great partnership with Stephen Dobie. Then he made that step up into the Premier League. And for me, he has been a standout player for Livingston. And I've said it a couple of times now, Peter, I think he's got potential to be a player at a top club. And if Rangers do decide to sign him, I think he's 1, 2 or 3 years down the line that they could get really, really big money for.
Still only 24, Barry. You're absolutely 100% right. And of course, it coincides with what you were saying in your Daily Record column, Barry, which was quite simply, if they are making signings, they have to be precise. There is no room for error with someone who either can't cut it or sits on the bench.
No, I honestly believe that, Peter. I think it's a season where there is going to be a lot of pressure, not just under the manager, but the players as well. And the players that he brings in, Peter, for me, have got to be guys who come straight into the starting 11 and know the demands and the pressures that come with Rangers. Because certainly this season coming up, Peter, this is real. This is a real pressure season. Celtic are going for 10. Rangers have not won a trophy in a couple of years since the manager's been up. So this is a season that they've got to produce.
Yep, absolutely. Hi to Matthew Roberts, as well as Mark Dolman, Helen Feeks as well, John McCritchie, William Gibson, and of course, lots of people say, great to see Barry on the show. Lots of people obviously like to see Barry. There's a kind of a calmness about it, just a feeling of comfort that people who remember you as a player, Barry, give you some nice thoughts. And of course, for every yin, there has to be a yang. And apologies to everybody, Tam is back with us today again. And talking of apologies, do you just want to apologise to the nation? Is it another apology from you?
I know. I think I swore on Wednesday. Somebody was giving me abuse on YouTube, so I'm sorry if I offended anybody. It won't happen again.
Listen. See, for me, Peter, it takes a bigger man to apologise. So at least Tam's got the balls to apologise. But
Yeah.
this has got to be his
That's a
last
swear
day.
word.
I don't know if I want to be hanging about with guys like this that swear. You know what I mean? But we'll give him another chance.
It's a good point, Barry. I know you had that in your contract that you couldn't be around anybody who was guilty of profanity. So I understand exactly where you're coming from. Paragraph 5, line 4, Roughie, of Barry's contract, no sweary words. So Tam's clearly upset the Buzzmeister. And of course, my English teacher said, Tam, that anybody who swears suffers from a lack of vocabulary. And I think that fairly sums it up.
Yep, I'd say so as well.
Listen, we love having you on. What's that strip you've got on?
Colorado Rapids.
Oh, that's a good
Nice
one.
strip,
I like that.
nice top.
Yeah.
That's a nice top.
Nice, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, because as you know, 1 to 19 was the starters. And Tam...
No, that was squad numbers. That was squad numbers.
Brilliant. There you are. So you've got Colorado Rapids on. Ruffy's got his usual Partick Thistle, and Barry's just get a freebie because
Barry, you need to get a strip on. Get a Birmingham strip or a Blackburn strip on.
It's
no Rangers
freebies.
one. Get the other ones on.
I know.
Scotland or something.
See when this programme finishes, I'm straight out. I'm away for a run. So this is I've got my training gear on, ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Full marks to you, by the way. So anyway, apart from anything else, Lindsay's story says, ignore them all, Tam. So there you are. You have fans out there, Tam, I have to tell you.
Thank you.
Listen, Lyndon Dykes on the way, but lots of people that I like to say hello to. We really do appreciate your support. And I make no bones about saying this. Barry has mentioned it. Tam's mentioned it. Roughie, we've been together since 2012 and we're on 5 days a week. The figures are in. It's phenomenal. We're Scotland's #1 football show. People are coming for the interviews, for the chat, for the opinion, and they want to talk football. So again, Roughie, I'm sure you'd like to echo my sentiments on thanking so many people for joining the football family.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The more and more it joins, the better and better it gets. And you're right. You know, I don't see anybody else's podcasts getting pinched and put in the daily newspaper. So we must be doing something right that they're using most of your guests that you get on.
Ooh, cutting stuff from Roughie there, by the way. What about that for a baseball
strong
man?
opinion for Roughie there.
That is, I'll tell you right now.
He's had a couple of gins, man.
Yeah, wait till there'll be somebody following you shortly, Roughie, for that line, by the way. There's nothing worse. Anyway, apart from anything else, lots of things to talk about. Before we hear from Lyndon Dykes, very shortly indeed, it's a good interview from Lyndon's point of view on setting the record straight on a number of things. I'll tell you what, man, I don't envy at the moment, Roughie. I wouldn't like to be him, is Ian Blair. He is such a great lad. He does a great job for the SPFL, but he has to work out the fixtures. And I think there's something like 71 weekends where he's got to try and work out fixtures that everybody can play in, bearing in mind he's got 12 dates for FIFA and UEFA, 16 European club games, 2 for the Scottish Cup for 2019 and 20, which is still to be finished. He's got 4th, 5th and 6th round of the Scottish Cup and 4 dates for the Betfred. Plus, of course, Steve Clarke wants him to try and take a couple of weekends away to help Scotland prepare for Israel, possibly Norway and Serbia. And that looks as if that's a no-no.
Yeah, it's going to be a desperate time. Stevie Clarke get knocked back the last time. I think we're a wee bit... should be a lot more in favour of doing what he's asking, the one game in particular, the first one, and then we can deal with everything else after that. But yes, an almighty task for Mr. Blair to keep everybody happy. We'll know today whether the first and second division teams, when they want to play, if they want to play. So that'll be another headache for him, trying to arrange all these dates.
Yeah, here's what the SPFL had to say with regards to the fixtures coming up. The stress on the SPFL fixture calendar is going to be enormous, with a real risk that some clubs will be forced to play 4 games in 8 days. We have already been obliged to cancel the winter break next season. 2 dates will be required for Celtic, Aberdeen, Hibs and Hearts to complete last season's Scottish Cup, while another 3 will be used for the 2020-21 Scottish Cup. 4 dates are also needed for the Betfred Cup, with 37 of the 71 dates therefore ruled out. That leaves us a maximum of 34 fixture dates to fit in the required 33 rounds of pre-split SPFL matches. There are real and justified fears over the resilience of the forthcoming current fixture schedule, given everything the game is dealing with currently. And that is the stress of it all. And believe me, once the games start coming thick and fast, that's when managers, Barry, start moaning.
Yeah, look, Peter, I mean, 4 games in 8 days. I mean, if you ask any professional footballer, I think they could do it, but it's the standards of the games. Once you get into that 3rd game and then the 4th game, I've been in the same sort of situation myself where you're fit enough and you look after yourself good enough, you can play them. But when fans pay money and they come to watch, they want to see the standards of the game high. And when you play that amount of games in the space of 8 days, the standards will, in my mind, drop big time.
Yeah, and of course we want to see our international side do well, Tam. So again, are we using that as an excuse? I mean, if we've got good players in there, should they not just be able to go out and perform? I mean, I before you answer, Tam, Roughie, in his time, they would play 60, 70, 80 games, the norm. They would play them midweek, then onto the weekend and fire on to internationals. And in some cases, play England on the Saturday, Northern Ireland on the Wednesday, Wales on the Saturday after.
Yeah, listen, I think the current players can do it. I mean, the only issue is for part-time clubs. For guys that are out working, and get a full-time job to play 4 games a week is a big ask. Take time off their work and travelling and all different things. But I think if you're a full-time professional club and you've got a big enough squad, you should be able to rotate it and play it. And Barry will tell you as well, there's no substitute for playing games. You're not going to be doing a lot of training. You'll probably just play the game, recover, get ready for the next game. So, listen, I'm just hoping it's a mild winter because I'm looking at it there and thinking, usually we have got a bad December, January where a lot of games are off. So they'll need to squeeze a lot of games in. So here's hoping we get a mild winter and we might be able to pull it off.
Yeah, are we mollycoddling them too much? I just wonder. I was going to ask Roughie, but I think as you could hear in the background there, he dropped his wallet, and it was just a loud thud there from Roughie. Yeah, absolutely. Or a Viagra, one of the two.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll get him back as soon as.
I wonder where they got them for.
Yeah, absolutely. Still,
they're blue.
Don't forget that.
One guess.
There you are. That's next week's competition. So, Roughie, are you okay?
It was a mild disconnection there.
Yeah, well, that's your problem at the moment, to be honest with you.
3 months ago, I wouldn't have been able to handle that situation, but I'm an expert. It's just not even flat.
No, absolutely not. Well, there you are. There's a quote for the papers. Anyway, apart from anything else, thanks to so many people who are actually just saying they're enjoying the show. They enjoy the banter as well, and they're supporting us. And we've got somebody, and I think his name is Steph there. Please forgive me. It's flown past my eye line. And he's basically in Switzerland. We haven't had Switzerland before, Roughie. There's somebody watching in Switzerland, the programme as well. If he can send us a message on Facebook again, I'll give him a mention. But, people from all over just tuning in to find out what's happening in the football. So I was going to ask you, Roughie, are we mollycoddling the players too much on this with, there's too many games? Because, I mentioned you would play, 60, 70, 80 games?
Yeah, and I think the modern day now, there's more people on hand, I remember when we went down to see wee Stevie Naismith down in Everton, and he was saying, guys, I could be here all day. I could have people massaging me. I could people look at my feet. I could do, and the things that they've got at their disposal now is far better than what we had. But I think players are more athletes now. I think they're well tuned to play games. As Barry said, I think they look after themselves a lot better as well. So, no, I think players will be busting to play games. I think with the time they've all been out, they'll be saying, no, come on, bring it on. Let's play as many games as possible. Because it's going to be a shortened year, obviously.
Yeah, thanks to Jerry, Jerry Maffin or Jerry Maffin, Mappin. I think it might be Jerry Maffin in Switzerland. Thank you, Jerry, for supporting us and obviously giving us the message there as well. And lots of people obviously putting in their messages. I'll try and get through as many as I possibly can. Okay, you lads, stick with us because it's well worth getting your thoughts on this because I've been badgering them for long enough to finally sit down with us. And fingers crossed, you're going to enjoy this because I caught up earlier with the Livingston striker, Lyndon Dykes. He's the man of the moment. And here's what he had to say. Well, I'm delighted to say our special guest is Livingston striker Lyndon Dykes. Lyndon, first of all, most important question, are your family safe and well in this lockdown?
Yeah, we're all good in the lockdown. It's been a bit boring and long, but everyone's safe.
Yeah, the good news is, some people can just get their hair cut and do something with it, and it doesn't really cause any great stir. You dye your hair blue, and the whole country goes into madness. I mean, it's incredible. Rumours flying all over the place.
Yeah, I know. I didn't expect it to go so crazy, to be honest. But I'm a bit crazy with my hairstyles. I like to mix it up and do different things. And the start of lockdown, I ordered about 8 or 9 different colors to dye my hair, and I ended up doing blue first, and went a bit nuts from that.
Now, I imagine, did you at one point turn around to your wife Victoria and say, "I think blue will be a great colour here"?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Just kind of the girls went red. They went red in their hair, so I went blue, and that was the first color we stuck with. So it was a good choice, but I'm sure everyone went nuts about it, as you've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Speculation is wild, but first and foremost, what a good season it's been for you at Livingston.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Obviously, my first season in the Premiership, and couldn't have been better, really. I've really enjoyed my time at Livy, and it's such a good club, and I've met a lot of good people and learned a lot as well. So I think we proved a lot of people wrong this season, and I think we even should have done better than what we done. But it was all around. It was a great season for the club.
And in your learning curve, Lyndon, I mean, you linked up well with Stephen Dobie on your loan period at Queen of the South, and you seem to have embraced not only the Scottish game at Queen of the South, but you've got better at Livingston. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, I think obviously when you're playing against better opposition and you're stepping up a level, it steps your game up again. So, obviously playing with Dobes at Queens was really good part of my career, because I learned a lot off him, and I learned just a lot of just being in that professional system with Queens. And we had a great partnership, me and Dobes, and he's a good guy as well. So obviously going to Livy, I was a bit scared, a bit nervous. Played more of the number 9 role with Livy, and I just never looked back, and it's been a great season.
Yeah, you've got a lot of good footballers who play off you at Livingston. With Dobie, it was something that he thrived on, the way you are, the style of you. Do you prefer playing in a 2, or do you don't mind leading the line as a sole striker?
Yeah, I'm quite easy, to be fair. I think I'm a type of player where I like to play every position. Sometimes at training, I like to be centre back, trying to get involved with the tackles and stuff, trying to smash people. But obviously when I played at Queens, I played more of a 10 role, attacking midfielder, dropping in, helping in the midfield, and obviously attacking with Dobes and linking up with him. And obviously he scored so many goals that season. So yeah, done really well. But I've really enjoyed playing number 9 at Livy as well. Obviously you're a bit more isolated sometimes, but I'm a type of player where if a manager asked me to play a different position, I would say yes and get on with it.
I know you like smashing people, but you just got to let that Australian Rugby League rules go.
Obviously growing up playing rugby league, I'm a bit physical, but no, I just like to get stuck in, and just like to put my body about. So something I like, anyways.
Yeah, Livingston don't want to lose you. The manager, Gary Holt, says there's been no firm bid from anyone. He wants to keep you for another season at Livingston. Are you flattered by that, heartened by that?
Yeah, obviously I'm happy with that. I'm enjoying my time at Livingston, but obviously my personal goal is to reach as high as I can play, and the highest level I can play. So obviously in my mind, if a move did come, I would love that, because you're getting older each day, as people say. It goes quick, the career playing football. So I want to get to the highest level. If that's down in England or in Scotland or wherever it is, that's something that I aim to do, and that I'm going to work hard to try and be the best I do in my career.
Yeah. Has the manager mentioned to you of Rangers' interest? You're obviously aware that people are putting two and two together. Is Rangers a club you think you could take a step and do a job for them?
Yeah, obviously I haven't heard anything on a personal note with Rangers, but I think I don't see why not. Why I couldn't step into a club like Rangers. Obviously they're a massive club in Scotland, but I back myself 100%. And if I did happen to go anywhere, I would do the best I can. I would learn off the players they have, the manager, and once I got in that environment, put my head down and work hard to be that striker what the club needs, or a position what the manager needs. So I don't see why not. Obviously, the good teams have a lot of good players, but that's just part of the game. Yeah, so hopefully one day, if I move on to a different club, then I can kick on and keep going higher and higher.
Yeah, and of course, with that hairstyle, you would be welcomed with open arms at Ibrox immediately.
Yeah, by the looks of the fans, what's seen the blue hair, I think they were liking that. But yeah, I'm a bit, like I said, I'm a bit crazy with my hairstyles. Sometimes I like to mix it up. So there's no point looking like everyone else. You've got to look different. So yeah, I've got a lot of dye colors to go. So if they want it blue, it can stay blue.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the obvious thing about it is, you want to play at the highest level. That is totally understandable for footballers. And of course, if Rangers were to come calling, Steven Gerrard, great player, trying to become a great manager with Rangers.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, his career was amazing with Liverpool, and obviously going into manager role now. Obviously, it's a big role going into Rangers. There's a lot of pressure for me. I don't know, for a lot of pressure going to a club like that. But I think he's done a good job, and yeah, I think obviously he's learned a lot in his career. So I think he'll learn the more he does as a manager.
Yeah, I mean, you scored 12 goals for Livingston. You scored a barload at Queen of the South. When you think about it, if it was a club of the stature of Rangers, what could you offer them? What style do you think that you've got that really is, slightly different from everyone else at the moment?
I'm not quite sure. I just kind of just do my own thing. I mean, like I said before, obviously I've been at Livy. I've been a number 9, just by myself as a lone role, and I can hold the ball up and play more of a target man. But also I think I can play with a 2 and link up play and take players on, and yeah, just the whole range of stuff. And I'm good at learning. If the manager wants me to do different roles, I think I can do a lot of roles. So yeah, I think I kind of give a mixed role, and yeah, I don't know.
Hey, it doesn't get any better than that, Lyndon, for selling yourself. Now, here's the best point. And this is the toughest question of all, and I know that's going to hurt you, but to be perfectly honest with you, your mum and dad are Scottish. Now, get the blue jersey on and stop keeping us waiting.
No, obviously, I spoke to Steve Clark and Graham Arnold from Australia as well, and it was such an honour just to obviously speak to both of them and see their thoughts for the national team and etc. But it is a hard decision. Obviously, I grew up in Australia, but like you said, my family's Scottish. Um, my wife's Scottish. My boy's Scottish. My stepdaughters are Scottish. Scotland gave me a chance in football to make a career, and yeah, so it is a hard decision, but I'm sure in the future it will come out what the decision is, and yeah, so we'll have to wait and see.
Have you made that decision in your mind?
It's a hard question because some days I'm like on it, and then the next day I'm like, oh, do you think that's correct? And then so it's back and forth, but I think I just got to go with my gut feeling and my heart, and just pick one. And obviously, with it dragging out a bit, probably makes it a little bit worse because then you're overthinking stuff. But I haven't got a 100% decision in my head, but I think I'm pretty sure I know who I'm going to choose.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too. Now, Steve Clark, he had a chat with you. He's obviously tried to influence you. He's been speaking over the last couple of days, saying that he's had a chat with you. Was it a big sell from him, or was it just a fact of, look, here's what we want to do, and you could be a part of it?
Yeah, it was more like the lines of that. Obviously, he's got a lot of plans for the national team. I think everyone can see in the country that the young players they have coming through are amazing, and what clubs they're at, and playing in the English Premier League, and obviously uh, Robinson just won the league with Liverpool. So I think there's a good thing at Scotland, and I think that for the future it's looking very bright. So that's what he kind of just went on, and um, he knew it was a hard decision for me, so he was quite open to not really pushing me, or just letting me know that there's an opportunity for me to play in the team. And yeah, it was good to chat to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to build it up for you, but the Champions League winner Robertson puts in a great cross ball. Tierney can put in a great cross ball. John McGinn's there. You've got Billy Gilmore there. You've got Callum McGregor there. I mean, what more of a supply do you need to become a superstar?
I know. To be honest, the team's unreal. They've got some players in there, and like you said, for a striker, it's probably a dream with the players they have around you, because every single one in the team could put the ball exactly where you want it, probably. So, no, I think they've got a great future ahead of them.
Absolutely. And the great thing about it, and I love your style of play, because obviously, you gave Christopher Julian a torrid time, and I look at you and I think to myself, well, am I going to be softly with you in this interview, or am I going to just go up and have a look at you and just make sure I'm holding you off and giving you the meaty challenge? So are you 70, 80% towards us? We just need that extra little shove now to get you in that blue jersey. I don't want to upset the Wallabies, but come on, Lyndon, are you going to sway towards us?
No, I'm focused on getting back to the league football first, and then we'll see what happens. But if I put the blue jersey on, I'm sure your first interview will be with you, so no worries.
Listen, absolutely brilliant with that, because I'm so desperate for you to play for us. I want you to actually go on and become the player that we all want you to be at 24 years of age. I mean, I actually look at you wouldn't know this name, but every time I watch you play, I think to myself, wow. It's very rare you get number nines who can, put themselves about, show a good touch, show an eye for goal. We always talk about in high regard Joe Jordan, who played for Scotland so many years ago, and he scored at 3 World Cups for us. And to get somebody who could offer us that something different would be absolutely sensational. So that's really what the nation is hoping for, to get that lovely mix of different styles in the team. So we've got options, and of course, nothing would be better than suddenly with a huge playoff coming up against Israel, possibly Norway and Serbia, to be involved in it would be immense.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, the nation wants to go back to, like you said, getting in the World Cups, and getting in the Euros, and the high tournaments like that. But I think they've got a good thing going. I think they've been a bit unlucky with a few things, but I think the team as itself is getting forward, and I think the future they're only going to get better. I'll have to look up that player for Scotland and see what he's like. because obviously I've never heard of him, and so I'll look him up, and if I do put that blue jersey on, I'll do my best.
Yeah, if you look up Joe Jordan, if you become half the player he was, you are going to be a multi-millionaire. Let me tell you. Go and look him up.
All right.
He's so in your vein. I mean, the other thing about it is, don't worry about going back to Australia. You've got your passport. They'll still let you in, even though you become a Scot. Are your mates over in Australia turning the screw like I am on you?
Yeah, obviously it's very mixed. My family's half of it. Well, my sister's obviously born in Australia, and she represented Australia for gymnastics, so she's want me to go for Australia. But my parents are kind of mixed, and a lot of my friends what live in Australia are from overseas. A few of them are Serbian, so I think if Scotland win a few of their qualifiers and stuff, they maybe have a chance to meet Serbia. So a lot of them are pushing me to play for Scotland because they want me to play against the Serbian team. So yeah, it's a lot. It's very mixed. It's very mixed, and it's a hard decision.
No wonder you dyed your hair blue. Your head must be spinning at the moment with everybody coming at you from all angles. Listen, just before you go, how itching are you to get back there, contact training, playing with Livingston, and starting the season? It could be Livingston, could be somewhere else, but just playing football.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy it when I get back and just get back to training and just kicking the ball about. Obviously, with Livy, we're going back a bit later than other teams, but we've been training really hard at home. We've in contact with the club every day. So I haven't really stopped, to be honest, but the last 2 weeks I've hit it really hard, training and doing double sessions every day and running and you know what. But it's obviously a different ball game when you get to the pitch and different fitness from even playing a game. But it would be really good just to get back and have a couple shots at a goalkeeper in the goal, and just see the lads as well. So yeah, it'll be really good to get back. Yeah,
and before you go, what's the thinking behind the 225s behind you in blue and red?
It's my Queen of the South strips. My first professional contract with Queens, and I was number 25, and yeah, I just stuck with it when I was at Queens. I was thinking about sticking with number 25 when I went to Livy. Obviously I got offered the number 9 jersey, and people were saying to me I was crazy for not accepting a number 9 jersey. So I ended up going with number 9. But yeah, my blue and reds. Obviously, the red is a away strip for Queens.
Yeah, good. I'm sure Queens fans will be delighted that you've still remembered them with great fondness. So to sum up and to finish then, you're a boy at 24, you want to play at the highest level, you want to score more goals. Do you feel there's even more to come from you?
Yeah, definitely. I think for myself, I've only been a professional for 4 or 5 years, and I've come this far. So I think I just need to put my head down, work hard, learn off the players that I'm around, and learn off managers I get in the future. And I think I can only step my game up even more and hopefully keep banging goals in.
Yeah, I hope you keep banging goals in. Now, this is the last point, and it's the most important point, Lyndon. You've been 6 years in Scotland. You were born in Australia. When you walk past a rolling sausage and a bottle of Iron Brew, do you feel a strong sense of, I must eat that and have a wee drink? It just gives me an insight into where you're going. Yeah, you know.
I do like an Iron Brew.
That's enough for me. I'm just going to go and get the number 9 now and stitch it. You look up Joe Jordan, and if you can, here's a great one to practice. By the way, gonna gi's a slug of your ginger. Can you try that?
Going to gears as sluggy as ginger. All right.
Magic. That is honestly, it's as if you were born in Livingston. I don't know why we're even debating this. I'll phone Steve Clark and we'll get the number ready. Listen, it's been a joy speaking to you, Lyndon. I mean, I know you're going to go on to greater heights if it's at Rangers or anywhere else. Here on the Football Show, we're all keeping our fingers crossed you play at the highest level possible, and of course internationally. We want you to play for Scotland. But today, thank you for joining us. And I will see you in your house when we're allowed to by the First Minister for the big chat when you eventually sign the contract and then decide where you're playing. Is that okay?
Okay, no worries.
Top man. Thanks, Lyndon, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you are, Baz. It's official. That's it.
I've got to say, I thought it was a great interview, Peter. Listen, he came across.
Lyndon spoke well.
Boy, he certainly comes across as a confident guy. And listen, he knows he's got an opportunity, and he wants to go and take that next step, and that's to go to a big club. And as I says, I think it would be a top signing for Rangers.
Barry.
It's whether Rangers can afford them.
Barry, he's got blue hair. There was a red and blue strip behind him.
That is not Rangers blue.
Right? His daughters were dyeing their hair red. If Barry Ferguson was the manager of Rangers, he would get a 15-year contract. He would.
Yeah,
because he's
to be perfectly honest with you, listen, I'm going to mention something to you, and this is the aspect of it. I mean, apart from anything else, I think there's a couple of pertinent points there. The boy wants to play at a higher level. If he has to stay another year at Livy, it will not be a crime. But I think in the current financial situation, I think Livingston will look and say, okay, if somebody gives us a good whack of money, I don't know what that figure is. I haven't even really got a grasp of where the market is at the moment as far as what a Lyndon Dykes would cost. But, you know, he wants to play at a higher level. Would he be good for us, Roughie, at Scotland? He's certainly a different option. And I hold my hands up here and tell you right now, and I'm not going to be disrespectful to Lyndon Dykes or Joe Jordan. Joe Jordan came from the village next door to us here, and he was world class. Joe Jordan's a great player. And believe me, if he could be a quarter of the player, Roughie, Joe Jordan was, he'd be doing well.
Yes, and I've said all along, if it's going to be Lee Griffiths, it's going to score goals. I would prefer Lee to be playing beside somebody like him. You know, I think Lee needs somebody to feed off. You know, and if we can find a way of playing three at the back and in the midfield and play two up front, I'd be a lot more confident in scoring goals. You're right. He's come on leaps and bounds. I was going to. I just when I was listening to him, where do you know, Peter, where he came from to go to Queen of the South?
Well,
I think even
Australia.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised.
A lower league team in Australia. Yep.
And he came out of nowhere there, and obviously from his point of view, he banged in goals for Queen of the South, and of course he was a great foil, Barry, for Dobie.
Yep, he was.
I loved him.
Peter, I've seen him a couple of times, and listen, Dobie's a top player, but he was one that stood out, and I'm thinking, where's this boy came from? And fair play to him. Do you know what? He's took a chance, Peter. He's took a chance to come over, and he's went down to the Championship, probably in hardly any money at Queen of the South, and he's worked hard, and he's got his move into the Premier League with Livingston, and he's shown that even against the top teams that he can handle himself. I've just been really impressed with him. In that interview, Peter, he just looks to me if he's a boy that believes in his ability, and I like that. I like the way he came across. People maybe say it's cocky, but I think I like a guy that's got the confidence, and certainly for me, if he goes on to a bigger club, I think a couple of years, as I pointed out 25-30 minutes ago, he's one that could go on for a lot more money than what the club buys him for.
Yeah, and at international level, he's a great option.
Yeah. Of course he is. We don't have any options. I mean, I seen that Oliver McBurney the other night there, and that's for me isn't an option. I'd rather go with Lyndon Dykes. You know, that's where we are. I think he would have more to offer. But I think you have to remember as well, although I'm saying he's not a prolific goal scorer, yet he's not. But if you look at Stephen Dobie's goal scoring 2 years ago, I think he was up about 37, 38. And then Lyndon went to Livingston. And that dropped dramatically. You know, I know he was injured for a wee while, but it just shows you if you got a good partner, you know, who's going to do the legwork for you and you chip in the goals, that might be just what we're looking for in the Scotland team. And just to add that maybe the Blues no for Rangers, maybe it's for Scotland.
Yep. I think that's a cert that he's going to be going with Scotland. That's a cert when you were interviewing him, Peter.
I'll just offer a modicum of sense on this. Maybe he's just a maddie who dyed his hair blue, yes. And everybody's just jumped on the bandwagon. I mean, when
Rangers fans are buzzing, but
when Tam got that haircut the other week, there, I thought there was a Blackadder 5 series, you know, because he looked as if he wanted to replace Baldrick. But let's not jump the gun here. And I would.
Do you know another thing, Peter? He made a good point that he played in a 2 up front with Queen of the South, but he looks, for me, a guy, he'll play up as a lone striker, he'll play on the left, he'll play on the right. That's the type of players you want. Guys who, I'm a number 9 and that's it. He'll play anywhere to get a game.
Yeah, Tam, let's not jump the gun here. Let me offer a moment of balance on, you know, the whole thing. The reason why I wanted to get him on is because everybody's talking about him. 2 and 2 sometimes makes 5. You know, there was a link with Rangers. So we've put that there out in the open. He wants to play at a higher level. You know, Scotland, Steve Clark's spoken to him. That tells you there is an interest there. Now, this boy's 24. I expect him and I hope he applies himself. Seems like a level-headed, confident boy. If he applies himself well, he could go to another level. He could do what Lawrence Shankland's managed to do. He could play for Scotland. He could disappear without a trace and just be a 1 or 2 season wonder. But we're keeping our fingers crossed because we're so desperate to get the nucleus of a really good side. I disagree with you, Roughie, slightly on. We're being slightly unkind to Ollie McBurney. I think Ollie McBurney is a vital part of it all. If we've got people coming off the bench who can offer something different, if it's an Ollie McBurney, I would not disregard the lad. I think there's so many players playing top flight football that can offer something. But Tam, you know, let's not jump the gun with him. He's still got another lump jump to go.
Yeah, he has. Listen, he's got to keep applying himself and keep showing the same hunger as he's shown the last couple of seasons. Because if he gets his move and then he rests on it, then he'll quickly fall back down the leagues. So if he keeps showing the same hunger and determination, desire that he showed all the way from coming over as a kid from Australia, coming to Queen of the South, as Barry said, probably on pennies. You know, he's worked his backside off to get his move to Livingston, and there's no doubt about it. He'll move on from Livingston. He'll go to a bigger club than them probably next season. So he's got to keep applying himself. If he does, you know, in terms of Rangers, he'd be a great option for Rangers. We spoke about it. They're severely lacking a physical presence up front. Teams are quite happy to let Rangers go wide and cross the ball in. You know, with him powering in and bullying centre halves, you know, just gives Rangers a totally different dimension, I feel, against teams that sitting at Ibrox.
Yeah, and of course,
let's not forget, he made a good point as well about Livingston. He's come on as a player, so Livingston deserve a lot of credit. The 9 month or 8 or 9 month he was there, so he came to Livingston a good player. I think Gary Holt and I think it's Martindale, the assistant manager, and the coaches have done a lot of work with him, and he's improved in that 8 or 9 months. So they deserve a lot of credit as well.
Yeah, listen, the other key element here, and this is apart from us waiting on the decision that he wants to play for Scotland, he's still got to fight his way in and play regularly well for his club, Roughie, to get selected for Scotland. So it's not a gimme here. If he says, I want to play for Scotland, he's not automatically in. He still has to do the bit that Barry did consistently week in, week out, which is play well, get noticed, and then get in the Scotland side. So let's not be in any way derogatory to what it takes to play international football. Of course, listen, who knows where he's going to end up? Somebody's still got to make a bid, Roughie. I mean, Celtic could sign him and just sit him in the reserves. They've done that before. They've done that before, Roughie. Sign somebody to stop another club getting him.
Well, let's hope the boy's a bit wise to that one. You know, it's okay getting all the money in the world, but at his stage, if Scotland manager's phoning him up, you know, and asking him where he's going to go, he needs to play. He needs to play every week. He needs to score goals every week, and that's how he's going to get in the national team.
Yeah. Can you imagine he signed for Celtic and said that hair was actually turquoise, Tam?
It's actually, just as you say that, it was turning a little bit green. Maybe that's just chlorine. So maybe it's not quite blue.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at Barry's face. Listen, lots of people mention it. There's lots of Rangers fans like it, and Alison says, I think by that interview he's going to Rangers. We don't have an answer on it because quite simply Rangers have to bid money if they're into him, and any other club has to bid money if they're into him. But we wish the lad well. He's 24. He's got he's got the world at his feet. He's got a chance to get even better. Who knows where he'll decide? But we've got the interview. We've given it to you. Make of it what you will. Nice lad, good bit of fun in him as well. Because it's a sure test trophy. You've got to be able to say Gonaghy's a sluggy or ginger before you can play for Scotland. There's no point in getting anybody else involved with it. It's as simple as that. On Facebook and YouTube as well. Remember, you're watching the Football Show. It's for football fans. Please don't get upset when you see some of the feed on the right hand side and on our Facebook as well. Rise above it. Enjoy the show, enjoy our guests, be football fans, rise above anything that might annoy you along the way. We just want to try and give you as many interviews and as much opinion as possible. What about Dundee, Tam? 10% of the expected season ticket sales. Now, I don't know about you, but slowly but surely along the way, we're starting to see little red lights, warning signs coming out of each club. And that one there, John Nelms is worried that there's not a real big uptake from Dundee fans. And I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, listen, clubs are suffering, but people are suffering as well. And a lot of people are out of work, Peter, who maybe can't afford a season ticket. Working class people who save up, off their wages or whatever to get themselves a season ticket at the start of the season. So I'm no surprised that a lot of people are maybe struggling to buy season tickets. Listen, if you've got the money, it's a different matter. But if you're a decision between feeding your family and putting food on the table and heating your house up or your season ticket, then you've got to look at priority and look after yourself and your family. So I think that is a warning sign. And I think there's going to be a lot more to come, Peter, because until the economy kind of gets back on its feet, a lot of people are going to be struggling to have that bit of spare money about to spend in the football club.
Yeah, absolutely. James Marshall says he might have dyed his hair because he's joining Wickham. So there you are. We can have every variation you want on Lyndon's.
It's the same colour as Tam's top, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Well done, Barry.
Thanks to G, who cares again, who's obviously decided to leather me as well for that interview. That's the joy of this program. You try your best, Roughie, and you get kind no matter what, which is the absolute joy. If you give it out, Tam, you've got to be able to take it in as well. Simple as that. What about? Yeah, absolutely you do. What about Declan Gallagher, who says Stephen Robinson is the best manager in Scotland? High praise indeed, Barry.
Sorry, I missed you there, Peter. It froze a bit.
Declan Gallagher says Stephen Robinson's the best manager in Scotland.
Well, he is going to say that because he's his manager, but listen, the job that he's done, certainly the season that's just passed, was with a budget. I've seen plenty of times it was remarkable to finish in third place, and I'm sure the players are desperate not to lose him, Peter. They'll be desperate not to lose him because he looks to me if he's a good man manager. I've actually done a bit of work with him when I was over doing my badges in Ireland, and he was doing a few sessions, and you could tell he was a proper coach. And the word that comes out of Fir Park is his training sessions are excellent. So I'm not surprised that the players are going to come out and say things like that, because they'll not want to lose a manager that's done great work for Motherwell.
Yeah, Roughie, I think the best point here on Stephen Robinson, I like him as the way he conducts himself. He's great in the interviews, but the teams, he's had two teams, and I always remember that line that was mentioned to us. I was speaking to Jack Ross, and he said he was at a seminar with Marcello Lippi, and someone asked Marcello Lippi, what style of football do you like to play? And he says, I play the style based on the players I have available. And I think, when you think about that, it's so simple. Stephen Robinson had some hustle and bustle, physical players, so Motherwell became a physical side. He switched it around and started to get more footballing players in. So suddenly they became easy on the eye as a passing side.
Yeah, you've nailed it. That's it. I think it depends what players you've got at your disposal. And as you said there, that's what he showed. But now they're playing good football. Young players coming in want to play football. I remember one day we were there doing a commentary, and it was just when he was a coach, and he had changed the warm up. The warm up looked so organised rather than just players walking about kicking the ball into the goals. And he had the defenders on a group, he had the midfielders in a group, he had the strikers, and he looked so organised. And this is before the game starts, so I can imagine when the game starts, he is very thorough in everything he does.
Yeah, Tam, a wee word for another story that was emerging over the last couple of hours. John Rankins decided to hang up his boots at 37 years of age. Now, if you talk about a boy who applied himself well, he spoke well, he was the PFA chairman, and, of course, fit as a fiddle, and a great lad as well.
Yeah, yes, I've seen that today. It's obviously the right decision for him. As you said, he probably could have played for a couple of more years. He's not got to pick a fat on him. He's really, really fit. But I think sometimes and Barry will tell you as well, when your time's up, you've had enough of it, you've lost that hunger. You don't look forward to going back to training or playing games again. And I think John's maybe just reached that stage now where he's had enough. He's had a great career, as you said. Won the Scottish Cup with Dundee United as well, and got every single bit he could out his career. Played with some big clubs as well, and I think he started his career at Man United, so he had a great education. So, no, I'd like to wish John all the best. Great lad as well, as you said, and on to the next chapter for him, probably into the coaching.
Yeah, and another person Barry, Stephen McLean's a coach now at St Johnstone. Over his career, I think you can look back. I think if it wasn't for injury, Barry, is it fair to say Stephen could have gone to another level again?
Well, Peter, he was at Rangers when he was a 16-year-old kid, and he was the next player that was going to make a breakthrough. And I remember he got a serious cruciate knee injury at Fir Park. It was just the start of, I think it was August, and the pitches are a bit longer and they were pretty dry, and that was his first serious injury at 16. And he's always had problems with his knee, but do you know what? He's turned it to have a good career. He's went to some good clubs. He's been down to England. He's come back up here. And I'm no surprised that he's went into the coaching side. I bumped into him a couple of years ago. I know a few of my players are quite friendly with him, and he was starting to do his badges. So it's great to see players like that going in to do the coaching. And he's gone up to a good club, and a club that he spent a lot of successful years at. He had a good time up at St Johnstone. So I think that'll be a good capture for St Johnstone.
Yeah, it's a great capture, Roughie. And of course, not many players get a chance to get a 6-year deal at Hearts when you're 35. What a shock that was.
particularly when you can't
He's only a youngster at Hearts.
That's the tough part.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's another thing, Roughie. Yeah, and by the way, when I signed this, I can only play in grass, so you can cut out 10 matches in the season. Brilliant. Listen, we wish Stephen McLean well. He was a good player and a good lad as well. And John Ranks was on this programme, numerous occasions. Just a great lad, Roughie, isn't he?
I think. Tam put a case out there on being 37, but I think he picked up a bad injury there just last season, and I don't think
he broke his ankle. I think, didn't he?
Yeah, and it just kept flaring up. So that's maybe something as well. I'm 37. I don't want to keep picking up injuries. And again, we go back to he's got a family to look after and all that kind of stuff that goes with it. So, but I'm sure he'll still be in the game at some stage, somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, still a wee bit to go, guys. Just as quickly, we mentioned them at the top of the programme. I think it's great. 30 years ago, there's no doubt about it. I've mentioned it on numerous occasions on this show, Tam. Ken Dalglish was my hero. I never thought for a minute that when they won the league in 1990, I'd be waiting 30 years to see another Liverpool side win the title in England. But they've done it without kicking a ball.
To talk about facts. I think that they are nervous because we are at the top of the table. I was taking some facts, and it's a fact. It's a fact. I am not playing mind games. I am talking about facts.
They're the champions, so congratulations to them. My overriding feeling at the moment is one of sheer pride. The players.
I think everybody knows it's that we will go again 100%. But in this moment, if you really want something, you have to you feel the disappointment as well.
Yep, it goes to prove, Tam, if you want to win the league title, you need to have a Scottish player in your side.
Yeah, Andy Robertson's been brilliant for them. I think they've shown some unbelievable character, Peter. You look at it last season, they lost one game in the league. That must have been a heartbreaker. I know it went right down to the last game of the season. And to get pipped to the title, despite only losing one game in the English Premier League, was a phenomenal record. And they've obviously blew Man City away this season with their consistency. They've thoroughly deserved it. You know, Klopp's built a world-class team now. As Roughie was mentioning earlier in the show, they were only a goalkeeper and a centre-half away. Everybody thought that from being a real top side. If they had the goalkeeper and the centre-half in the Champions League before that, the season before that against Real Madrid, they probably would have won the game. I think the goalkeeper had a howler. So they've strengthened key positions. Their spine of their team is unbelievably strong. You know, Jordan Henderson, again, has been superb for them. You know, a guy who took a lot of stick at the start of his Liverpool career. Now his numbers, his stats, you know, you see the amount of kilometres he runs in games, the tackles, he's number one in everything. So he's an all-round complete midfielder as well. So no, brilliant team and very difficult, I think, to topple, Peter, in the next couple of years.
Yeah, Roughie, who knows? It's going to be difficult to even become a dynasty again in English football because of the strength of, look at Chelsea getting better. Manchester City will strengthen. Manchester United look as if they are slowly but surely coming out of the doldrums again with some of the players they've signed. But I thought it was a great touch from the manager who's made all the difference, Jurgen Klopp, when he said, this one's for Steven Gerrard, mentioning him as a Liverpool legend. He's obviously Rangers manager now, Kenny Dalglish as well, and the Liverpool family. That's the class of the man.
Yeah, well, that's what Liverpool was all about. Even back in the 80s and the 90s, that's what they built their success on. The boot room, all the managers that came in and as coaches and became managers, and that's what Liverpool bred their success on, and the players that they brought in. But you're right, the players they've brought in now are all winners. We keep talking about what Steven Gerrard got to do at Rangers to make them up and challenging Celtic again. That's what he did. He brought in winners. He brought in guys who are all playing at the top of their game, really quality players in every position, and that's where they got their success.
Yeah, big hi to William Stewart as well, and obviously Craig Lumsden has just joined us. He's wondering if there's a number 10 on the back of this shirt, but of course it's a Liverpool shirt, Barry, and there's only one number that means anything at Liverpool. It's the number 7 shirt. It's the best player in the world ever who played in it.
Yeah, I know, he's your hero. He's Peter's hero. But listen, can I just say something about Liverpool? They say one guy doesn't make a team. I don't care what anybody thinks. See, since Van Dijk's come in, he's been the difference. He lets the midfield, the forwards can go and do, or the fullbacks go and do whatever they want, and they know that he's behind them. I mean, I thought he was a good player, Peter, when he came to Celtic, but he's just went on to a totally different level down there.
Yeah, it's funny you saying that, Barry, because I don't know, Tam, Roughie, do you remember the day that he got the ball against St Johnstone? And I can remember being in the press box and he managed, I think he beat about 9 players and then put the ball in the back of the net, and I thought to myself, I wonder if he'll be sold tomorrow or the day after, because it just looked like a guy who was strolling through the game, Tam.
He was too good for the Scottish. I think what Barry's saying is right. I think he's took his game to a different level in England because he's up against better players. You know, there was games up here in Scotland he was cantering through. I mean, just cruising through games. You know, and he goes down to England. You've got to be on your game every week. He went to Southampton. He's playing against world-class strikers every week. And I think you've got to elevate your game to get better as well. And I think he's done that himself. Obviously, kicked on again at Liverpool. He's now in the Champions League. He's playing against the cream, you know, a strikers in Europe, and he still is cruising through it. So you never see him flustered. You never see him really, by the way, Van Dijk's the nightmare the day, or he's skinned him, he's got the better of him. He's very, very difficult to out-muscle or get past pace-wise. He's got everything.
I've still noticed, I've still to see a player who runs over the top of him. I've still not seen it yet.
Yep. No, it's a great
to
point,
get past him, where he's had a game where you're thinking, Van Dijk was bang average here. I've not seen it yet since he's been at Liverpool.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you on
the way,
guys.
The way Peter was speaking, Lyndon Dykes would probably run over the top of him.
Yeah, there you are. Oh, you
get a cut by me.
You get a wee nippy sweetie because you don't want him to go and join Rangers, eh? Listen, you're here as a pundit, not a fan. You calm your chest. Don't start acting like some of the dough balls on here. By the way, posting mad notes. Anyway, that's fantastic. I love that. Tam takes the.
No, but in a serious note, has anybody seen that in a game? Has anybody seen him? Where you think he's been bang average here?
No,
I mean, listen, he's not.
I can't think of one.
I mean, you're talking about 1 or 2 or 3 games where you thought, okay, somebody's obviously I think he made one mistake in one game, and honestly, it was like hold the back page because everybody was aghast by it, but he's absolutely top drawer. Here's a question for you, Roughie, because you've obviously seen, like myself, some of the best Liverpool teams. If I was doing the greatest ever 11 for Liverpool now, I'd be looking at that back line and I think I'd be tweaking it. I'd be putting him in there, would you?
Yeah, well, obviously I'm a big fan of Alan Hansen's. I'd have Alan Hansen in there, and they're obviously both of them would complement each other. If you're talking about up against like Emlyn Hughes and Thompson, he's head and shoulders above them. I mean, much better than them. So no, I would still have Van Dijk up there.
Yeah.
Easily,
Ron Yates,
easily ahead of them. Ron Yates. No, Ron Yates was just an old style centre half. I don't think he would have been comfortable on the ball the way he is. No, for me, he's got everything.
Jimmy Traore.
Yep, absolutely. Shut up. You're now just becoming a noise up. You really are. You're on forum today. Honestly, five sweary words on Wednesday and you've now gone mental. It's as simple as that. Listen, I've got to ask you guys, we're at the weekend. There's a couple of things I want to mention before we go, but first of all, what happens at the weekend now, Roughie? We've got to be sensible. I'm saying it to you, Roughie, first and foremost. Please don't go to Bournemouth Beach or Ayr Beach. Can you please follow the guidelines and just stay close to your family? Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, some of the scenes were absolutely ridiculous the other day, and I feel really sorry for the police having to deal with it. They're getting put into a situation they don't want to be in. But thankfully, again, it's minority, Peter, because I think everybody is behaving themselves. And no, I won't be going to any of the beaches at all.
Have you still got a marquee up, Roughie?
I was just about to say that.
I don't know. No, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
The
one
got it. The one got
I was going to say, nobody came to pick it up. It's heading down the Cumbernauld bypass. And over and above that, I have to say, I love Roughie. He says it's only the minority. 500,000 of them out in Bournemouth Beach. It's unbelievable. 500,000. It was mental. Anyway, apart from anything else, abide by the rules. The one last point I would like to make to everyone, and it's because we are a show that concentrates on football, but as you know, the majority of our show is about Scottish football, and of course we're part of the Scottish community. This is a live show, so I make no bones about saying this. And I think I speak for Barry and Tam McManus and Alan Ruff as well on this. My heart goes out to the people involved in the incident that just taken place in Glasgow today. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families who are affected by this. It's the only thing I can say about it. It's a tragedy in a time where we are involved in so many other tragedies, but that is one that I think you just hold your breath and wonder about what's happening in the world. But from everyone here in the Football Show, our thoughts and prayers are with the family. All that we can say on this show is thank you to everyone who's supporting us. We are the #1 football show in Scotland. I think you can tell by the pundits, the interviews we get, and the support we're getting as well. So to each and every one of you, thank you. Follow the guidelines that the First Minister has mentioned time and time again with the medical officer. Stay safe. Let's see if we can beat the virus as well. From Barry, from Roughie, and from Tam McManus and myself, thank you for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit Arnold